welcome tonight. We're going to stand for the local flag song. Okay. So it looks like we don't have anybody here for public forum. Is there any board comments that would like to be? Nobody, board members? Okay. I would just like to take a minute for all of us to offer a shout out to all of the staff and students that participated at LNI this past weekend, and then that also participated in homecoming. There was a lot of people that went above and beyond to make it amazing for all of our students. It was an exciting game, and that was just, I've seen photos from coming in from different people, and so that was just exciting. I hope it made all of you guys as happy as it made me. I don't believe there are any additions to the agenda. Nope. Correct? So hearing this, is there a motion to adopt the agenda as presented? I'll move. Moved by Amanda?
I'll second.
Second by Mark. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. 5-4. Now over to Roberta for her report, and then also we have other administrators here to report tonight.
So I explained to you the report that I gave you, and so with that, rather than take up the time, I'm going to turn it over to the schools.
Okay.
And let them present. High school.
Yes. Good evening, guys. Thank you for allowing us to be here tonight. Hopefully it's not as we're able to get over here whenever we're asked. So we do appreciate tonight. We got some data to present a little bit. Our numbers at the high school for students are 438. Our staff, we have 76 staff members, including administration, counselors, security, custodians, and teachers. Our student attendance is at a 79%, and we're looking at the end of the quarter this week. We're going to correlate the grades to our attendance to see where we're at on that week. That also affects our attendance. We've definitely been busy this 9 weeks. Listed are some highlights that we've done at the high school. Like Michelle said, homecoming was a huge success. We had over 50-some floats. First place for originality was archery. Second place, district office. Third place, climb. Individuality, we had first place, Shrek, which is Jalen Marshall. Second place, Little Miss Antelope Royalty. Third place is Boys and Girls Club. And in creativity, first place was Lakeview School. Second place, Rosebud Sioux Tribe General Operations. And third place, Park Towing. Like I said, we had 50-some floats. It lasted well over the time I thought it would last. We had good student representation. Our students that were not in the parade were great participants watching and going with the flow there. And at the high school, it's a little crazy from 8:30 till dismissal at 2 o'clock. But our students handled that really well. Very happy to see that. Some more student Some more highlights of our students. This summer, we tried to get in touch with SGU for dual credits. Between phone calls and emails, we didn't get together to get dual credit for our students, so we took it upon ourselves to look elsewhere. We went to Black Hills State, and we've got 3 classes for Black Hills State. But in the meantime, we've also contacted SGU, and now we're also working with them to get our credits. And at the end of the semester, our credits will strictly come from SGU, the ones we wanted to go with. They did a nice job of getting us back in with them to get our students those opportunities to earn those credits. Of course, you know our welding programs. Jay Herman, he's an SGU teacher. He gets us in the mornings, first and second hour. We've got 5 students in there, and they'll go to Mitchell to get registered or licensed again for welding. Something else in our CT program is our electric car we're building. Every day you see progress. We've got 3 of the students pictured right there. They're literally building that thing from the ground up. They will get a test drive it, hopefully. Mr. Shu and I had the opportunity to go to Michigan last year to learn how to build one of these things, and I had the opportunity to drive it. It goes from 0 to 35, 40 within 1 foot. So, wow. It's impressive. The kids are really into it. They're in the wiring now, so it's a little more tedious, but we'll get through that. We had 2 students go to ACES, Darren and Lizzie, and that's American Indian Science and Engineering Society. They presented in front of hundreds of kids. Very prestigious award they got an opportunity to do. They said it was wonderful, so that's always good. Our behavior, Tiana, want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, if you look at the data, behaviors decreased by 44.7% compared to this time last year. And we've taken a look at the data. What we did was this summer we did a behavior audit, and we took all the behavior data from last year and put it into a presentation, which we shared with not only our staff, but we shared it with students. So we met with the students by grade level at the beginning of the school year, presented the data and said, we need this to change. We know we can do a lot better. And you know, the whole idea of this wasn't to decrease the referrals, because we don't want people to stop reporting, but we want to improve the behaviors. So what we ended up doing was we did this behavior audit. We have graphs and charts and everything that we presented. And then from there, we're not only just leaving it at that, but we're going to monitor. And we have a team that we created, which is called a Behavior Threat Assessment Team. And it actually came from the state level, from the state school safety director, Brett Garland. He came in July. He did what's called a building threat assessment. He walked through our building and he listed everything that he thought needed improvement on the safety end. We got a 36-page report from him. And from that report, it does give us recommendations on how to improve whatever it is. It might be something as simple as a one-point entry, which we did implement. Things like that that are quick fixes that don't cost a lot of money and it's simple to do. It does cause a little bit of, I guess for adults, it's not a convenience for them, but again, keeping our schools safe, it isn't always convenient for the adults. So that does mean, you know, we do lock gates at a certain time, the staff gates. No longer do we allow parents or whoever to come through our back entry. Everyone is routed to the front where our metal detectors are to come through. Again, just simple little things like that that we were able to take. And that in turn does help the students feel safer. And when students feel safer, you see less behaviors. And it's just a trickle effect because it goes to having improved attendance. And I guess to add on to that, the after-school clubs, we have tons of new after-school clubs, which is the second page. And I believe that has helped with our behaviors too, because we have kids involved in, you know, things that weren't offered before. And so there's more opportunities for our students to be part of the school, to feel like they belong. Another huge thing, other than our security and safety measures that we have implemented, Staff visibility, that's another thing. We have staff in the hallways through all transitions. Our security group does rotations. And not only do students see these people in the hall, but it helps them to build connections with our kids. And again, that helps our students to feel like they belong in our school and they're safe. So that's one of our priorities, is to make sure that we have a safe school and that kids feel safe there so they can learn. And I guess for me, that's the biggest thing in the last couple of months, is seeing kids smile and seeing kids happy to be there. They want to be in school. And if they're not smiling, then it's up to us to figure out what's going on and why they're not happy, so that we can make them feel comfortable there. So that improvement, 44.7%, again, compared to last year. At this time last year, there were 92 referrals, 94, sorry. And right now we're at 52 referrals. And so, like I said, we're monitoring those closely. This group, the Behavior Threat Assessment Team, it's our job to look at that data monthly and see which students need more support, and what areas it's in, and what kind of things we can do differently. But the important piece is making sure that our students know that we're paying attention. So we will meet with the student groups again, planning to meet with them by grade level and share the data with them, because it shouldn't be a secret to them. And we share it at our in-services with our staff. So that's pretty much how I think we're getting there. And the staff, it's a huge part, that visibility and just making those connections with the kids.
That's very commendable.
And that's the same assessment that I mentioned there that every school is going to get by November.
Okay.
Some of the challenges we're facing, noticing our doors in the front entrance, we're getting those looked at right now. We're in the process of getting access cameras for the front and the back door, so we can bring them in from our offices and such not. Any questions that I could entertain?
No, I was gonna ask how you got the percentage, but she answered that pretty good.
Is our enrollment, has it gone up
It's
from
basically the
last year, or
same.
about the same?
About the same.
And what about attendance? Is it about the same, or has it?
I'd have to look at last year's, to be honest with you. I was a little shocked to see our attendance at 70-something% when we had an assembly and the bleachers were entirely full. So it's day to day, obviously, but
Yeah.
you don't see the students until you have an assembly, to be honest with you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, high school.
Next. You care who goes up next?
Nope. Spring Creek can go.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay, Spring Creek School, this is the first quarter board report. Some of the celebrations we celebrated this year was just starting off pretty positive energy, showing renewed commitment for our goals, being a good relative, attendance and academic growth. Some highlights include we had 75% family attendance on our back to school night. We're implementing the being a good relative tickets that showed tremendous improvement in behavior from last year to this year. I did check today, but I know we have between like 7 and 9 behavior referrals as of today, or as of now. So it's just positive reinforcement for when you're being safe, respectful, responsible, and all students can earn those. We're continuing to implement the responsive classroom morning meetings to build community and support social emotional learning. Perfect attendance celebrations, and I should say monthly shout outs on the Facebook page. Collaboration among multi-grade teachers and paraprofessionals to improve academic alignment using the PLC framework. Staff and students participated in the buffalo harvest at St. Nicolasta last week on the 7th, and that was amazing for them to be able to reconnect with traditional Lakota values. Our current enrollment is 54. We were at 67 at one point over the first quarter. 81% attendance for the first quarter. Our goal is to increase to 90%. I'll skip that part because you're supposed to leave that out. Family and community engagements. Back to school meet and greet. Families met teachers, they learned academic goals and participated in learning activities. The family chat and parent-teacher conferences are planned for October 23rd. We continue to work with the RST Ed department, building bridges, Tichanguko, who help fund the greenhouse, and local programs like Tuahe Kukiiki for their equine therapy. Plans for the Veterans Day program on November 6th, and Halloween Family Night on October 30th. Warrior Mindset with Alejandro Rama is going to happen for our 6th to 8th grade students on the last week of October. We have 25 students who had 90% or better attendance for the month of September. 3 students who are above grade level in math, and 4 students who are above grade level in reading. The archery club continues to promote discipline, focus, and school pride. They'll be attending the alumni competition as well. With our new music teacher, Mr. John, the students have been learning the Lakota flag song, and they learned it the very first day. Our 4th and 5th graders caught on to that, and you could hear them from my office. They were singing the Lakota flag song. It was so good to hear. And just peer reading activities. Some challenges are we still have some students who are chronically absent. So our attendance team is really focused on all of the kids that are 65% or lower. We've been reaching out with letters and calls to make meetings to help support those families to get their students to school. Over 3/4 of our students are highly impacted by various health and wellness needs. One thing that continues to come up in our staff meetings and our PLC meetings is the need for trauma-informed training for our teachers. Facility concerns, aging trailers, HVAC issues, pest presence. We had a raccoon who left his droppings everywhere, among the mouse droppings. Limited storage, it's our dream to have a clothing closet for our students, but that's just not feasible with our space. And that just, these impact our safety and learning conditions. It's not fair that our students have to fight, wasps, and, they're like dodging wasps when a teacher's trying to teach a lesson. So I just hope the plans for a new school or something better is in the works. And this was also a concern of mine that was brought to my attention, is that I seen, this was when I had to sub, I was making corn dogs and broccoli for lunch, and that was it. I know that's probably a state regulation, but I wanted you to be aware that some of the menu items that are state regulated are not sufficient enough for our students' nutrition. It might be for, families that are a part of different counties, but this might be the main meal that our students get. So just wanted to bring it to your attention, is that sometimes I just don't think corn dogs and broccoli for one day is gonna give our students the nutrition they need to get through the day. And we just, continue need for no school, on-site teacher housing to improve recruitment and retention. And we just continue to move forward with heart and purpose. We remain focused on building a school environment rooted in Lakota values, where students know they belong, where teachers feel supported, and where every child has the opportunity to thrive. And there's some of our iReady data for math and reading for this first round. Any questions?
Would it be possible to have them bring it once in a while, have them bring their group up to sing the flag song for us?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
All of the schools that have them.
All the schools.
Yeah, they would really look at that's a good idea. One more thing I wanted to mention is that we are also incorporating the Ignite tutoring program. It's a Teach for America program. And so all of my 4th through 8th graders, our 4th through 8th graders, are getting college tutors from UCLA, USC, across the country. And the students are really, really enjoying that tutor. They're so engaged with, someone that's similar to their age. And it's good for them to see someone that's at that higher education level as well.
Are you guys still have your greenhouse, or the students still?
So the
Participating.
students did get to get vegetables and from the garden. They got to actually taste the vegetables, but the storm took out
The storm
the
took it
greenhouse.
out.
So we're rebuilding. We're rebuilding right now.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
How do we address, excuse me, Chair, how do we address the needs of her lunch program if she's got?
I have notes here to visit with Bo.
Okay.
And I think that's something as the governing body of Todd County that you guys can push much more than we can, I think that's really important for our kids to be able to even just learn. They need to have the proper nutrition in a way. We do have salad bar folks too, twice a week.
Salad bar twice a week?
Yep,
Nice every day.
that would be nice.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Leslie.
Thank you for sharing.
Kayla May?
Roseland or Lakeview?
I told Chris he can come and do his on the 29th.
Okay, so I have it.
That's my last text to him, and he said, okay, thank you.
He's a way better presenter, so I can make me.
Oh, 27th.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for your work.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, ours for like the first quarter celebrations, we had KKD come in and she just came. I even forgot she was coming. She popped in on a Monday morning at Lakeview, like right at 8, because I think she stayed out there with Patty or something. And then when she saw me, she was excited because we just started like small reading groups and small math groups. And like with our tiny staff out there, we weren't sure how we were going to do it. But we just like dove in, and she said that they were going good, and my staff feels like they're going good now. At first they were kind of scared and it was rocky, but they like buckled down, and I went and did some walkthroughs while they were doing groups, and they're going nice and smooth. Because my K2 teacher was worried. She has some like new students and some younger ones that maybe might not be ready for kindergarten. But she had them rotating, and they were working in their groups by themselves, and she was working with one, so it's been going good. And then my elementary boys cross country continues to hold the title. Every cross country meet, they've been winning, so I'm pretty proud of them. For student achievement, I have 2 students who scored level 4 on the state math for ELA and math. So that was in the advanced, and that was Beckett and Bridger, so. And then 6 who scored level 3 in ELA, and I didn't have any math ones, and then 1 science. When I was looking at our data, we do need to do some stuff for math, so that's why we started the small math groups out of Lakeview. And then family and community engagement, we've only had 1 so far, and we had a cookout and a scavenger hunt. And then the Walklings gave us corn, and the kids made corn for family night. It was so good. So this month we have a couple coming up, conferences, and then we have our family chat and our family night. We're gonna try to do a potluck with the community and see how that goes, so. And then we'll have our Veterans Day concert. We haven't had a concert at Lakeview in a while, so we're excited for that. And then in the blue there, you'll see our enrollment. We have 9 in K2, 12 and 3-5, and I have a full classroom in 6-8.
It's like, it's gotta be yours. Because we all looked at ours.
I was like, someone's phone needs to stop.
I'm talking right now.
So we're at 37, we were like at 49 last year, so we kind of lost some kids. And then our attendance is pretty decent. The K2 room, I think like always, you know, the little kids, their attendance is a little bit not as good. So, but our school-wide, we have 94%, and I think that's about what my staff attendance is too, so it's kind of reflecting the whole body there. And then our SPI score underneath there, you can see we were at 32, so we were on like the school improvement stuff, and we managed to make to a 42 this year, so, or this past year. I think we're still on school improvement for a couple of years though, so like it's 42, we still have a lot of ways, we can make growth. So we're working on academic achievement and then like behavior and attendance. So, oh, and then one thing I forgot to put on there, we started a student council, so we have student council up there now. They did like speeches and voting and everything, so. And they picked our days for homecoming and stuff, so we're trying to do stuff for like behavior and like the community and the whole school climate, so everybody feels welcome there. Our challenges are not really like with students, but I cannot find a sub-para for one of my classrooms, and then I don't have a driver custodian. So we've all been driving. I drove last week every morning in the bus, so we're just kind of taking turns so we all don't get burnt out there. I had a couple applications, but nothing so far. I think I'm gonna have one today, or I had one turn in today, but there was no testing going on, so we didn't get to finish that.
Do you guys still have the house out there? For
Yeah,
the person that
I think
drives?
so,
Okay.
yeah. So I've been trying to like, hey, there's a little apartment out there, but I just can't find anybody, so we've been kind of doing this since like August maybe, I think. So it's kind of been tough. We're all kind of getting burnt out there. And then our other challenge is like reliable Wi-Fi. So last year we were able to get Starlink, and it worked good, and we were able to do our small groups with it because we have such a small staff. One of the groups is some tutors online. And so there's a couple kids that jump on in that while my other teachers are working with other small groups. But now that the Wi-Fi isn't working, we can't do that. So this has been going on, like since the beginning of the year, we have not had Wi-Fi. So it's like 0.5, what is it, megabytes or something. And if I test my speed at Rosebud, it's like 300 something. And so if you think about that, like 0.5, you can't really get anything done with that. And you definitely can't get on with tutors, or for my math, they're gonna do like the upper kids so they can get more. And then for reading, they're supposed to be tutoring them for intervention to help them, and we can't do that because of our Wi-Fi.
So is there a reason, have we heard why it's down, or?
Well, we actually
I was like, would you
upgraded it
just?
to a tarot,
Yeah.
rate terminology,
Yes,
but I haven't
Nancy.
heard, I haven't talked to Nancy.
Okay.
We've been, I'd say problem shooting it since it happened.
Yeah. Since before school started, it like, I don't know, they thought there was a storm, but then they were like, oh, let's Starlink because you can only use 50 megabytes, and then it bumps you back into like really slow, the 0.5, so.
Yeah, I mean, our options are limited out there, to be
They
real.
really
So we're
are.
trying Starlink, it worked last year, Starlink
did.
changed their plans and how they manage that. So they're treated us differently, and we've gone and upgraded it to the point that we can. So I'm curious to hear why it hasn't helped. That's what
I know, and sometimes Dakota messages about every day, he checks the speed, and then Tech was out there last week and they switched back over to Great Plains. So it's supposed to, when it uses it up, it's supposed to switch over to Great Plains or something, but I'm not sure if they have to physically do that or, hey.
There it is.
So we
changed the antenna and not knowing that Starlink changed their plans from the one that we had in Rosewood, temporary one. And then last week we went over and put in a new, or the old antenna with the flat panel that we had for Lakeview to begin with. And then they updated the plan to, was it 1 terabyte?
1 terabyte.
So that should cover you guys. Last I heard yesterday that, or today, that they texted me and said they're doing good, so. It's something with Starlink, they changed their business model,
Yeah.
so that you get, it's kind of like a
That's
paid,
frustrating.
prepaid phone.
Yeah.
You run out of data, they just drop you down to like texting only.
So we still have to be conscious of that when we're out there. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we still
so-
have the Great Plains link that we can plug in. Right now, I just unplug the power and they just plug that in. It'll kick in if anything happens with Starlink, so they still have like a backup there. But they're what they call last mile out there in Lakeview, you know, it's like, it's just one of the places that, it's tough, yeah. Anyway, that's kind of where they're at. They should be up now. They were running out of data and they're going down to nothing. We thought it was the antenna, but it wasn't.
Yeah, so we're struggling with that out there, but.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Nancy.
Nancy.
So I asked like everybody to make sure their phones are not connected. I think I asked them to, with some other stuff, to disconnect, so, to hopefully help them. But do you guys have any questions?
No, you answered all the ones I was gonna ask. Thank you.
Covered it all. Thank you. Thank you.
So leave the Roseville one, or just have them?
Just wait till, because you could do either meeting,
Okay.
so he'll have an option. I mean, an opportunity.
Okay.
Well, Tara may show up. She was at a volleyball game across the street, so we can go on with the agenda and
Okay,
she can close or she can come on the 27th.
okay. Thank you all for your reports.
Thank you, Tammy.
Moving on to item 7, the action items. 7.1, we're to the consent agenda. Is there anybody that wants to approve the consent agenda? Or is there anything you want to
Motion.
pull out? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
A motion? Okay, moved by Mark,
All second.
second by Tim.
I have one question. Chad, on this, this is called this consolidated application budgets. Could you kind of briefly explain that? That's got 20-some pages on there.
Oh, yeah. So, from the federal side of things, we receive monies for Title I, which is for disadvantaged youth. And they are broke out initially within the original budgets by school. So based on your poverty counts by the school, based on the food lunch program, is how that's handled. Anything after that, as far as allocating carryovers from prior year, can be allocated anywhere where you deem necessary, but other than that, it is managed to that point. So you'll see every school with a budget regarding Title I. Title II has to do with our teacher retention, our teacher training, very specifically travel, you know, when we're sending teachers around to get, it's teacher-centered, and that's the budget that you'll see there. Title IV has to do with the safety and wellness of our children, so we've got several items in there. We've got SRO contracts in there. We've got art. We've got additional music. Some of the supplemental type things that we try to do for our kids can be funded through Title IV. Title VI, you've got a budget out there for. That's for our Indian education. We actually have a parent committee that helps to manage that. And we take positions at the high school, at the middle school, you know, our Lakota positions through that program. GOM, we haven't got figured out yet. We're still working through that as far as bringing a budget. So that will be coming.
How's that working so far with the tribe?
So far, so good,
So
actually.
far, yeah, it's been pretty smooth.
Yeah, actually, it has. It's actually gone okay. But their year end just ended. Now they're shut down.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to determine what are dollars that are going to be coming. And that being said, I just as well informed you guys, I informed Roberta today. As of Friday night, you heard, if you you've heard the news, special education at the Department of Ed, staff got terminated.
Yeah, I saw that.
Impact aid staff, our biggest revenue generator for the school district, lost every staff member with the exception of 3. So what that means is we're trying to determine at a national level right now. A lot of unknowns.
Yeah, I don't know if that's terminated or just furloughed, what is that?
Well, the furlough, so they got told they lost their jobs. That's what they've been told. Whether or not that's the way the dirty politics is working at this point, and basically we need to make a message across the country how important those dollars are to our kids, and be loud enough that they want to listen to it and reinstate that kind of stuff. So we're dealing with that right now, and so we're moving forward on that. But nothing will change until government comes back to work. So that's our situation. It's just an unknown, and it's an unknown for school districts across the country.
Oh, I vote yes. Okay.
Is that it, Chad?
That's the line.
If there's anything else, I can always answer.
Yes.
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 Thank you. Point 2, cooperative sponsorship of activities resolution, approving Form TCSD and White River Boys and Girls Wrestling. Recommended to approve cooperative sponsorship of activities for boys and girls wrestling between Todd County School District and White River School District. Is there a motion?
I would like to,
You'd like-
yeah, Chuck, could you explain really what this is all about?
Okay, so Chris was actually the one who approached me. There was some kids from White River that wanted to wrestle and they don't offer it. And that started this summer. Came to a couple of year open mats, and so made contact with White River, talked with Eldon, said, hey, listen, we have this available to us if there's something, and nothing really moved on it. And then he approached me just a couple weeks ago and said, listen, you know, we would like to do this. So that's really kind of where it started. For us, obviously, it's gonna bring more kids into our program. I think our goal here is not only to get more kids involved, but also, you know, it's always been our dream to be able to host meets at home, which, you know, right now, when you're only filling 8 of the 14 weight classes, that's really difficult to do. Nobody wants to wrestle you when you're like that. So, you know, that it's really gonna be a plus for us if we do that. Right now, it's only girls that have been told they want to wrestle, so hopefully they're gonna, I told Eldon, you got boys up there, hey, we'll take them too, so.
These girls, they have a younger brother who's a 6th grader this year, so he wouldn't be able to wrestle this year. But if we did the boys, he'd be a 7th grader next year, and in South Dakota, 7th and 8th graders can wrestle high school, so.
How many kids are you anticipating?
What, we have 3 girls? 3, 4 girls?
Yeah, right now. And then I would like to, if this gets approved and White River approves it in the high schools, I'd like to do an interest inventory, you know, do a QR code that I can get some interest from up there, just like I do at the high school here, to try to get some input. But I don't know, I'm a wrestler, and I want to see wrestlers. And if kids want to wrestle and they can't because their school doesn't have wrestling, let's get them down here, let's let them wrestle. So.
And then they would be under, I mean, they'd represent Todd County, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's,
not a co-op.
we do Todd County Falcons.
Okay.
No purple involved.
No, I'm just like, some of them schools go out like that and they have to change the name and all that.
We're gonna list it as Todd County / White River, but
Okay.
we're still the Falcons, and we're gonna wear our uniforms, and, you know, they'll have to make sure that they get down here for our practices and everything like that. We're not gonna absorb that, you know, that's up to them to do that.
Good.
Could I ask a question? Do you guys have an update on practices and like facilities?
Talking
Because-
about it tomorrow with admin.
Okay.
I said we were gonna wait until we got through the elementary sports, which girls' basketball will be ending this week. Cross-country is done, and so that tomorrow is our first meeting,
Okay.
and then we'll have it.
It's funny you asked that,
But
I
you
just
don't
sent an email to
anticipate-
these guys today.
About practices.
Yeah, about practices and stuff
And
like that.
I was actually gonna ask Tiana a question before she left, and I didn't get to, so.
But anyway, you know, it's just an opportunity for us, and for us, you know, be able to wrestle at home with our kids. It's really difficult. Like I said, we just don't have the kids to fill a team, and hopefully this will hit us so we can go out and start dueling, which really takes the pressure off weekend tournaments when you're dueling, because you can can only host or have so many, what do you call it, weigh-ins?
Weigh-ins.
Yeah, so I'm not a wrestling guy, so.
So like financially wise, we'll be good with that, or? Okay.
They're providing the transportation, so.
Yeah, we're not responsible for that.
Right, yeah, but, you know, we will pay to get them to there and feed them and do whatever we need.
Yeah,
to
we'll
do
take care
there.
of them as if they're one of our rentals.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, cool. I'm all for it, but I think it's super important that there's the space and the room for the boys and girls to be able to wrestle practice.
That's gonna be,
It's gonna
Yeah,
be a conversation, because now we have, just like wrestling numbers are going up, so are our archery numbers, and they're at the same time.
Yeah, that's a good question.
So we'll have to-
Where you practice that.
And that's why I'm working with elementary to see if we can lessen up their wrestling, but there's conversations that are starting.
Good.
Yeah, we started them last week. But I don't want to,
Yeah, and the
Until-
question I was
until we
gonna ask-
finalize
Yeah, and the
everything.
question I was gonna ask Tiana, and it's about that facility here, was just if they're still doing PE there, or if it's just archery in the evenings. Because that would change the.
that would change, yeah.
That would change the roll-up mats, and actually, one of the things that she talked about was, the marking on the floor. Well, I mean, we could put a mark on a mat and tape over it with mat tape, you know, we tape it down, and then really that would benefit us and them if there's not PE going on in there.
Yeah, and I don't know, I see Jordan outside, I've seen Jordan outside up until the weather changed, so I'm not sure how or what. I'm not sure.
and then obviously White River has to approve this resolution as well, you know, then
Their
it's the
board.
activity association.
Are you gonna attend their meeting?
White River?
Yeah.
Oh,
Come on.
Oh, no, too
no, we did our part here. And if they truly want it, then they'll take care of business.
Well, I'll make a motion and move on it.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay. Motion by Mark, second by Amanda. I'm a big wrestling fan, so I'm gonna say yes too. Okay, what's the vote then? What do
For
you think?
yes.
Yes,
Yes.
okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Quick question though, you'll take care of getting it to Swaros and Company?
I'll get the necessary signatures and then I'll send you a copy.
Okay.
You can get it to Swartos.
How soon will we know on the facilities?
It depends on what we can do with elementary, but again, we still have a little bit of time. But I want everybody who it's going to impact to be at the table to have the conversation and not just, because they're, again, the rest of the archery numbers are going up, and it's starting to happen at more schools. Because they even
exciting.
started at the elementary school now where they weren't before. So we gotta figure out, have those conversations. But we do know if we can get all of elementary wrestling all to be in Rosebud, that's gonna be one of the helping points. Because they have a bigger gym.
Durham still using the kitchen in the evenings?
Sometimes, yeah. Oh, for their kids, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Because we
Supper there.
visited about that.
Just thinking you could set archery up in there or something too.
But yeah, we'll know soon.
Hey Chuck, what'd you think of that USD with their football helmet?
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yes.
You all know about that?
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Aztec sign. That was neat.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
thank you for coming.
All right.
Off to Valentine, Washington volleyball.
See you.
Yeah.
We don't have anything for executive session that I'm aware of, so we will adjourn tonight at 6:14.
You see, she had a speech, but she's not saying anything.
And I'll add Terrell's report to the end of the month.
Okay.
She had her daughter's volleyball